Hello, this is Paloma. I come back with the story the sky is telling for the next few days, beautiful family. Thank you for your time, for sharing this space with me. So in absolutely delicious synchronicity, we have a new moon happening at the end of the calendar year. This isn't always the case, so I think it's quite beautiful because it matches this idea of having New Year's resolutions, On the 30th of December, we have a new lunar cycle beginning with this embrace of the sun and the moon. In the school of sacred structures, which is Capricorn, this happens at the 9th degree of the sign in this great space of the wheel in our skies. Capricorn is the school that has already been initiated by the power of Pluto the last 16 years. So what does Pluto do really? He strips us of anything that is false. Everything that has already served its purpose to life ends with Pluto. He, truly dismantles the school where he is transiting through of every artificial construction. He is the bearer of death and rebirth. It's a planet that connects us to the true essence of power. I would say a power that is divine power flowing through the one in service to all. Pluto, I understand Pluto as an energy in service to life and to truth. And he will stop at nothing to have these causes as the great priority. So what happens with this new moon in Capricorn now that Pluto is in there? We have a seed moment to build, to connect with the true essence of this school of actually spiritual mastery in earth. It's an elevation school. So beyond the materialistic perception of Capricorn, we have here the last earth sign, which is the maturation of this tangible experience, and also entering the dimension of transpersonal energy, because Capricorn is the first sign of the transpersonal ones. So that's where this responsibility to create and hold trustworthy and flexible structures for something to last through time. It is an energy that connects us to our skeleton. It rules the bones. So I think that makes a lot of sense if we think about it, the bones that hold the structure inside of us. And that is what remains of us after we are done with this temporary experience as humans. So there you can get the intent of Capricorn of becoming legacy, with profound connection to ancestors. Now imagine us not conditioned by the past or by these ancestral or inherited stories, but in true and deep reverence to the privilege that we have, that was given to us by them who survived, so that we could now choose to thrive. I think there is, of course, a labor of reconstruction, recreation, the creation of a new culture, of also taking care of what's important to cross over with us, and just adventuring ourselves to building something new that is not imprisoned by rigidity, which is the shadow side of this energy, but on the contrary, that it gives the foundation to a structure for freedom, I would say. So the ruler planet is Saturn. They have moon and sun have a sextile aspect to Saturn in Pisces, which I think is just insisting in the spiritual dimension of our practical living, of how we approach this idea of objectives, goals, of what we think success is beyond what we were told it is. Because there is, I think with Saturn in Pisces, there is we can imbue this seed with compassion, with forgiveness, with love, and with the soul perspective as well. It's like we are planting trees that we will not see in their full bloom, and that's okay, because we are here to regenerate and reverdecer, to just give new life to the big garden that we live in, which is Mother Earth, so we can open the possibility for a different life for those who come after us. And this is a responsibility and the commitment with which we are invited to work with this energy. If our spiritual life is not earthy, if our earth life isn't spiritual, then it makes no sense. There is no coherence there. And therefore, this is also a seed of unification, of integrity. For me, this is a seed to build peace with peace, doing it with patience, with love, with diligence. Saturn is, of course, holding the square to Jupiter. They just had it perfect on the 24th of December. So we know that in order to experience the bountifulness, I think that's the word, of Jupiter as the spiritual mentor that is calling us to rise beyond the little mind into the realms of consciousness and the power of thought, we have to pay attention to what Saturn is asking of us. And he is basically asking for us to be mature, to discipline our discernment, to strengthen our intuition, and to cultivate genuine inner authority. This is the energy of the Father, of authority, of the one that guides. So this is a seed as well for us to awaken to a loving authority within ourselves so we can actually become truly sovereign beings. Of course, therefore, there is this kind of mood of reflective move of where we are coming from, how did we get here, and what are we going to do with all this, with all this story and history, right? There is an integration, I would say, of the healing journey we've been on because Chiron has just started its direct movement. And this, I feel like it's a softening energy. Jupiter is also weaving a beautiful trine to Chariklo. She is a wife of Chiron in myth. I call her the healer of healers. And she invites us to move into the witness inside of us, and also understanding that only by being witnessing each other, we can hold a space of grace, and that it takes nothing else really for us to remember that we are already healers. We are the medicine. And perhaps our legacy is to remember this, to retrieve, from forgetting, to remember the wisdom of all times that is already dormant in our bodies, in our bones, in our DNA, in our structures. And I do have to mention there is an intensification of the Mars-Pluto opposition because it will be perfect again on the 3rd of January. So what can we bring from this very intense, strong energy into this seed? I would say it's the power of the spiritual warrior that protects, defends, and takes care of life. Connecting to a drive energy of determination, of action that is dictated by the heart. This is a Mars in Leo. The challenge would be to go through the pain of our egos, which can be expressed in this circumstance as very big reactivity or even aggression. So therefore compassion, right? Therefore loving our own pain and caressing the agitation of our minds, and also going past this programmed need for instant gratification so we can truly cultivate temperance. It is not a speed race, it is not even a marathon because it is not a competition. It is the joy and the privilege of being the gardeners, the carers of this great Garden of Eden and of all the life in this beautiful planet, for those who came before, for ourselves, and for those that will come after us. So with what do you want to commit your energy and your time? How are you going to administrate these resources of yours? Because this is also very Capricornian energy, administrating resources. If we respond to this in true honesty, we will certainly know what truly matters to us right now. I think it's a fertile energy of great manifestation, and because of this, it requires great maturity to work with this energy. So I was thinking maybe giving you a quick note on each rising sun or rising sign for this new moon as a little gift. So let's say Aries energy. This is a new moon happening probably in your 10th house of vocation, of how you take and you own your place in the world, of your professional life. So it's quite perfect for you to have establish what are your goals in the long run, and also working on how you want to become and truly be a legacy. Tauro, this new moon seems to be happening in your 9th house of God, of expansion, of going beyond the borders. So this can be metaphorical as the seed of a long trip, but it can also be, literal or metaphorical. Because it could be, it's just the idea of how are you going to expand and open yourself to new adventures of learning and teaching or traveling. It's a great moment for having clear intentions regarding your personal growth. Gemini energy, this new moon is happening in your 8th house. I think it has to do, it could be around who and how you want to share your resources and your energy with, say, for example, in an investment. So it's a great moment to have clear goals in terms of, for example, savings or investments towards the long run, and also honoring the true power that comes from your roots, but it also comes from the power of the universe flowing through you by accepting the totality of who you are. Cancer, this new moon, it's on your 7th house of relationships. So, of course, it has to do with how you relate, how you want to relate, who you want to relate with. It can be a seed of new relationships, should you want this. But I would say it's about having clear intentions of how you want to show up in a relationship and how you want to commit, and also what you expect in terms of commitment from loving relationships or associations, because this clarity will allow for you to build a beautiful structure for this. And Leo energy, well, Mars is doing this retrograde motion with you. And this is in your 6th house of service, of lifestyle, of health. So I would say it is a perfect new moon and new year to have clear intentions on how you want to live your life, what you want to do when you wake up, your routines, your well-being, your health, your lifestyle, and also how you want to be in service to something greater, because there is this revisiting with Mars there, what is the true motivation behind your actions, right? Okay, Virgo, let's take in account that the South Node is coming your way. So this new moon is happening in your house of creativity, children, passion, hobbies, enjoyment. And I think it's interesting because it's a great time for perhaps overcoming the idea that a structure can't be a joyful experience. It's like a good moment for intentions for creative projects, or even your love life as a joyful, pleasurable structure that you can enjoy by letting go of some of the control or even perfectionism that you're going to be working with the South Node. It's coming right across the corner. I think it starts on the 12th of January, right? Okay, Libra. This new moon is about, well, it's in your 4th house of family, memory, ancestors, and I would say emotional security, to me, is like the main subject here, like establishing the goal of becoming your own source of stability, of security, no? And then going about all of this beautiful way in which you connect and socialize, but by having this belonging to yourself, this fidelity to yourself, so you can always come back to this safe and secure place within you, even though you are relating with whomever. And Scorpio, this new moon is in your 3rd house of communications, siblings, like the immediate surroundings. I would say it's a great seed, for example, on how you want to communicate in a more efficient, effective, even aware way. But for example, if you do have like a project, say a publication, a book, or a launching of something, this is great for establishing the strategy, the plan. So how do you want to create a structure for your ideas to be expressed in the world and to connect to others? Sagittarius, this new moon happens in the 2nd house, which has to do with self-value, with resources, and I would say with self-sufficiency as well. So I think it's a great moment to have intentions and clarity of intention, especially into how do you want to give yourself a stability in terms of resources, of say finances, but how can this sprung from giving yourself, like deeply valuing yourself, your talents, your gifts. I think this can be a self-sufficiency or an expansion of your self-sufficiency seed, because it's quite mature, the approach. Capricorn. I am a Sun and Capricorn rising, so this is my new moon. It's exactly on top of my Sun. It's on my birthday, so it's very powerful for me. I would say it's very powerful for us Capricorns because, Pluto has passed, no? And this is our first new moon here. So it's about really our identity or sense of self, or how we present ourselves into the world. This is a new beginning of recreating ourselves from a much freer, perhaps more vulnerable, but also just more honest, a truth a truer way of understanding and identifying ourselves, and therefore opening ourselves up into the world. Whenever something happens in this first space of the chart, everything changes, right? Because we change. So this is the seed of the new you or the new me, which isn't really new. Perhaps it's just more authentic. Aquarius energy. This new moon is on the 12th house, which is a very inner house, of spirituality, of the inner life, I would say. So it's a seed of intentions that I would, because it's Capricorn and it has to do with bringing, the invisible into the visible through action. I would say it's about your spiritual discipline, to actually have a practice, to also perhaps become more aware of any self-sabotage patterns that you can, through this authority, dismantle, so you can become empowered by your spiritual life and how this manifests in your actual daily life and tangible life. I usually see the 12th house being completely mirrored in the 6th house. So how do you experience all of these inner realms? How does that show in your life? And Pisces, well, Pisces, you have Saturn with you. You know about this process of maturing already. It's been happening for a while. And so this new moon enhances, it's on the 11th house. This space of your friendships, the networks, the tribe that you share ideals of the future with. It's a great moment to have intention and to seed. What kind of connections do you want to cultivate? Who do you want to build, truly build this ideal or vision of the future that you have? And how do you want to contribute to community, through all the process that you've already been through with Saturn here, and understanding that the North Node is coming your way. So you're going to be leading the evolution intent for a couple years now. So it's about, for me, this embodied spirituality, even embodied astrology. Okay, so that's it, family. I hope you have a beautiful new moon. I see you across the threshold of this new year. Remember, this is happening on the 9th degree of Capricorn. For you to understand, it's a great time for planning, for strategy, all imbued with love, with compassion, with understanding of what brought us here, so we can actually truly claim authority within ourselves with all that love to build something new. Let's have clear intention with all the magic and all the realism necessary for this to become real life. Blessings. Thank you.